Many couples are trying to figure out the best way to split up their financial responsibilities.
And the future of their marriage could depend on it. A new survey from Forbes says 38% of couples report financial problems as a cause of their divorce. That's the third highest reason behind arguing and getting married too young.
How about doing the dishes? All right, joining us now is Julia Carpenter. She's a reporter for the Wall Street Journal. Her recent article covers how couples are splitting up their responsibilities, something you should probably do before you get married. I've been married 20 years now, and we didn't really sit down and divvy this up. So you write that couples should divide the responsibilities like a corporation, having a chief financial officer and a chief operating officer, which is, I think, what I am, probably your wife is.
Yep, definitely.
What does that look like on a day-to-day level?
So this is one way to do it. It's not the only way to do it, but a lot of couples that I had interviewed for other pieces about relationships and money had mentioned that knowing their roles, knowing that one person is in charge of managing the day-to-day operations of the house, booking things on the calendar, making the appointments, getting people where they need to go, should be its own job. And then long-term planning, budgeting, pricing out these big purchases, that should be its own job. And ideally, like in a leadership team at a successful corporation, these two roles work in tandem and talk to each other in order to come together and make big decisions for the family.
I should clarify, she's the chief operating officer, chief executive officer, the chairman, the queen, my wife is. Julia, just in case she's watching, how should couples decide exactly who fills which role? You're no relationship expert, but you are a reporter who's been looking into this. So how should it be divvied up?
So there's a lot of research that shows that the person who usually fills that CFO role or the CFO role or the COO role, that's split up depending on who has the most time, not necessarily on who is the best at it or who wants to do it or who has experience doing it. So if you're doing this in a way that is best for your household and in a way that's the healthiest and maybe minimizes the most conflict, you should split these roles up depending on who has the acumen for these roles. So in my relationship, for example, I love talking about long-term planning. I am a big dreamer. I love thinking of the future. So I'm the one who's always thinking, okay, where are we in October? Where are we in August? But my girlfriend actually loves being in the spreadsheet. She loves having her nose on those day-to-day purchases and understanding, okay, we spent $8 at Rite Aid and then we, are going to spend $300 at doggy daycare later this week. And that's how she is best at sort of figuring out what her role is. And what I've heard from a lot of people who do this is that having your own role also means you have your own sphere of control. Mm-hmm. So that way you preserve your own autonomy in the relationship and you're able to do a skill and get better at it instead of everybody sort of grabbing whatever we need in a moment of chaos.
So here's my question then. So my husband is definitely the CFO. He's better with money. That's just, we know that. I'm definitely the chief operating officer, but how do I get more hands-on with the finances? Shouldn't we be splitting them up a little bit more evenly?
I'm glad you brought this up because especially in heterosexual relationships, there's a lot of socialized gender norms here. A lot of women say that they find that they're doing more of the housework, even if they are the CFO. There's a lot of research that shows that even when men are spending more time on household chores, women are still spending even more time on household chores. So thinking about switching these roles at different points or having turns with these roles is a really good way to make sure that people don't feel like they are locked in or limited. I spoke with one woman. Her name's Eve Rodsky. She's probably most well known for writing Fair Play and creating the Fair Play deck, which helps a lot of couples think about how to divvy up these things and embrace sort of the teamwork mentality. She said that it's really important for her to keep her and her husband both in that CFO role, just at different times. Not that they should both be playing it at the same time, but that way they both know what's happening with the finances. And if something was to happen to the other one, neither one would be surprised or, locked out of the accounts.
That's the one thing I would worry about is if one is too in control of things and then suddenly something happens. Oh, I don't know the password, or oh, I didn't realize that we owe $3,000 or something. You've got to be talking to each other about it, even if one is more in control. Julia, go ahead.
I was going to say that's a very valid fear. A lot of people have found themselves in relationships where that happens. Oftentimes when the communication isn't healthy or there's some sort of maybe overly controlling mindset there. And there's a lot of research also that shows that if you are the CFO and you don't want to be the CFO and you're operating on a need-to-know basis, then your financial literacy as a household decreases. So everybody suffers if somebody's sort of stuck doing it.
All righty. Well, Julia Carpenter of the Wall Street Journal, that was fascinating. Thanks for bringing it to us.
Thank you for having me.